Good evening, all from India. I'm Dr. Krishna. So I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Rama Cousik, who's a ex-colleague of our institute, NIMH. And Dr. Rama Cousik is an associate professor in special education. Rama received a PhD from Indiana University in 2011. She teaches courses at the undergraduate and graduate levels on inclusion and also on universal design learning strategies, autism, and collaboration. She also supervises graduate students working on their thesis and research projects. Rama is a qualitative researcher, and her publications showcase use of poetic inquiry and cultural interpretation of disability. She has several publications in reputed journals and is currently writing a book on inclusive education. Dr. Rama, very happy to have you once again with us and wishing you all the best. And the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Krishna Garu. It's a pleasure to be able to talk to everybody. And I'm also very glad to have this opportunity that you and Director of National Institute for Empowerment of People with Intellectual Disabilities. That's quite a mouthful. It used to be NIMH, now it is NIEPID in Secunderabad, my home place. That's where I worked for 17 years, and I'm very, very, very blessed to have that rich experience with colleagues, with families, with children, and with individuals with developmental disabilities and their siblings and family members. Today's webinar is about mindfulness practices, and I want to share both my experiences and then I want to give some strategies, very simple strategies on how you can apply those practices to reduce stress caused by crisis situations. For example, like the coronavirus situation has caused a lot of stress among people in general, so it must be more difficult and more stressful for families and children and individuals with various disabilities. And so I want to give you strategies for both professionals and families. And then in turn, I encourage you all to adapt those strategies for individuals with developmental disabilities and intellectual disabilities included. Okay, so I want to start off with a very simple exercise. It's a pranayama technique and it'll take a few seconds to do. So in this exercise, you're not timed or anything. So I want you to just first relax and just observe your breath. Just relax. Sit straight if possible. Straight. It's important that you keep your spine straight. So sit straight or stand straight. And then let's do this exercise. So open up your palms like this. If one of you can show me your video, I can see that you're following it. Keep your fingers closed and the thumbs out. And then put your thumbs gently on your ear. Close your ears gently with your thumb. And then it'll help if you remove your glasses. I'm going to put on. Start that again. Close your ears with your thumb. And then gently place the two fingers on your eyes and close them. Close your eyes gently with the fingers. And now close your mouth and say just with your lips closed. So I'm going to do it and I want you to follow. Keep your eyes closed for a few seconds. Don't remove your hands. Relax. And now gently remove your hands. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, so this exercise has a special effect on the people who practice it. So I would like you to share what you felt when you did this. Dr. Krishna Garu? Yeah,
I felt relaxed.
you felt
I
relaxed.
felt
Yes.
good.
Is there anybody else who wants to share? Shilpa, how did you feel? You can type in your answers too. Okay, the point is that you feel relaxed. You feel like when you splash some cool water on your eyes, or when you wash your face with some cool water or warm water, depending on the weather, you kind of feel a sense of relaxation. And this technique is called Brahmari Pranayama, one of the pranayama techniques. Brahmari, that means the sound of the bee. So we are imitating the sound of the bee when we are saying okay? So whenever you feel stressed or right after your bath, usually pranayama is ideally done on an empty stomach. So when you wake up in the morning, you can just sit in your bed with your spine straight and do this Brahmari pranayama. Just do it for 5 times, 3 to 5 times. That's enough. So when I do this every day, and I also have when I go to teach my class, I have about on an average 25 to 30 students. I have them put their pencils down, shut off their electronic devices, close their books, and just do this. Okay? And students have told me that they feel relaxed and ready to take on the world. Okay? So, this is a very important first technique that you can do. You can teach parents, you can teach families, you can teach even individuals with intellectual disabilities to do this. Okay, that's one technique. Now, I want to go into what is mindfulness. Mindfulness means, in simple terms, it means paying attention to the now, the here and now, the moment. This moment, what are we doing? Paying attention to that, paying attention to your thoughts, paying attention to your breathing. Is your breathing coming fast or slow? How are you feeling? Paying attention to everything, both your bodily sensations and your surroundings. That is simply mindfulness. Now, where did it originate? Mindfulness originated in the Vedas, in the Hindu scriptures called the Vedas. And then it developed popularity, or it gained a big following thanks to Buddha, who adopted that technique and started teaching it, practicing it first, and then after he was enlightened, actually teaching it to his disciples. And slowly over the generations, the technique of mindfulness that Buddha was teaching began to spread. It is now called Vipassana, and it is practiced more than 140 centers all over the world. And then it is a free camp. I have attended it here in Brighton, Michigan, which is the neighboring state of Indiana where I live. So, and I know that Dr. Krishna has also done several levels of that training. So it's a very tough practice, but if at all you get a chance, do attend it. Sri Goenka is the person who brought it to India and spread it. And, he opened those centers everywhere. To give you a little more background about how it is made famous, is Dr. Kiran Bedi, who was our own Dr. Rita Peshavarya Madam's sister. Dr. Kiran Bedi is now, the governor of Puducherry. She actually implemented Vipassana in jail, and then she is very famous for the reform that she brought in among the prisoners, the inmates of the jail. So Vipassana is a very, or mindfulness, let's call it whatever we want to call it. It's a very powerful and useful technique that helps us try to understand what is happening now and prevents us from either being very sorrowful or regretful about the past, or worrying about the future. What's going to happen tomorrow? Am I going to have a house? Am I going to pay off all my loans? Is my child going to graduate? Or is my child with intellectual disability or autism ever going to be cured? There may be 100 things that worry us every day. Okay, now when is this coronavirus going away? We are already worried about that. Am I affected? Am I a silent carrier? We are constantly thinking about it. I'm not saying all of you, but most of us are. It's a tendency to worry about future, to worry about what we don't know is going to happen. It's totally unknown. There is research is slowly coming out about the virus and about the vaccine. We haven't even developed it yet. So everybody is kind of anxious. Oh, what's going to happen? ये मौतुंदो क्या हो जाएगा? बोल के we tend to worry. Now, Vipassana or mindfulness helps us to understand, to take things equanimously. Whatever happens, if you're happy, let it be known that happiness is not permanent. If you're sad, know that sadness is not permanent. If you are angry, know that being angry or anger is not permanent. So, whatever emotion that you feel and whatever events that occur in our lives, know that it is not permanent. That is the core of mindfulness, is knowing that change is constant, knowing this too shall pass. That should be a mantra. This too shall pass. Whatever is happening to us, whatever is affecting us, it can be happiness, it can be sadness, it can be anger, it can be grief, it can be loss, it can be death. Everything, every phase will pass and a new beginning will come. So, this virus, this situation will pass, and that is the core of the mindfulness message. Okay, so how do you practice mindfulness, and what does the research say about how you should practice, how many minutes do you practice, and what is the effect it's going to have on us? So, according to Kabat-Zinn and Segal et al., ideally you should practice for 30 minutes per day, 6 days a week. So, they did a study on a large group of participants, and they asked them, they trained them in mindfulness technique, and they observed that those who practiced for 30 minutes per day, 6 days a week, they had the most benefit. And what was the benefit? The benefit was the calmness, the acceptance, the equanimity, and not getting agitated when things are not in your control. Okay, the virus is not in our control. Scientists are trying to understand it and finding a cure and making sure that we are safe and protected, making sure we're not spreading the virus to everybody else, to our loved ones, to our neighbors, to friends, to the public. Okay, so remember, 30 minutes per day. If you can't do 30 minutes, for beginner practitioners are not going to start with 30 minutes, and that's not what we can expect. Start with 5 minutes. Build it in increments of 1 minute. 5 minutes, start, add 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8, 9, 10. Once you do it for 10 minutes every day, then it's easy to progress from 10 to 30 minutes quite fast. So that's my recommendation. Start with 10 minutes and then increase and then go on doing at least 30 minutes. So when I practiced Vipassana, I want to tell you what is Vipassana. So I went to the camp, and then they took away my phone, they took away my computer, they did not allow me to use any paper or pencil. So they took away all modes of communication. Vipassana is witnessing yourself in silence. So, what is that silence? Silence even means, even through eye contact, eye gaze, you cannot communicate with others. That is the discipline that Vipassana builds in you. Okay? So, they took us there. The first day, they explained what is Vipassana. And then, 4 o'clock in the morning, you have to get up. It takes a lot of courage and strength to go through that. And it's for 10 days. 10 days you're not in touch with your family. 10 days you're not talking to anybody except your guru in the during the recess time. Okay? 4 o'clock, the gong sounds, you get up, you have a shower, and the shower is not the best shower. it was like thin thread was coming, and I was shivering. It was cold. It is Michigan. And then I had to manage. It was not hot like my house shower is very hot. It was not like that. I was sleeping on a bunker bed, which was hard like a rock. The pillow was not mine. I didn't have my bed sheet, my blanket. Everything that I was used to was taken away from me. And I was thrown into this new experience. And I was not forced to do it. I chose to do it. So, and then 4:30, you go into the meditation room, and the teacher, trained teacher, and then Sri Goenka's video leads you through the meditation techniques. You meditate from 4:30 to 6:30, and then you have breakfast in silence. Again, the breakfast is all prepared by volunteers, and then you have a very healthy breakfast. No coffee. I'm such a coffee addict. You cannot drink coffee. They prepare herbal teas, and then very sattvic, if you know Ayurvedic, sattvic diet. That is very simple diet that does not have any spices, no onion, no garlic, no spices. I mean, we are so used to all that. We pamper our body with all kinds of tasty foods. All that's taken away from you. Just fruits. You will not believe how many apples I ate that day because I was so hungry. When I'm deprived, my hunger shot up 100 times. I ate everything. I ate oranges. I ate apples. I drank 3 cups of tea. It was like I was binging. It was just a incredible experience, just observing myself behaving in this manner. And then, where is my self-control? I was really shocked. But hunger can do that to you. If you're deprived of something, you crave for it more. And then go back to the meditation hall, meditate till 1:30. And then you have a simple meal, just one meal. And then you take rest, and even during rest there are rules. You just observe your body and how it is reacting to different thoughts and ideas. And then you go back, meditate till 9 o'clock in the night, then you sleep. That's the schedule for 10 days. Second day I was violently sick because I have hyperacidity, and I was deprived of food that I was used to. I was deprived of coffee. I was violently sick. And luckily, there was a nurse, and she said, "Do you want to do this?" I said, "Yes, I want to do this. I'm determined. I know I can get through this." Second day, without medication, without food, my stomach was empty because I had brought pura andar bahar, I brought out everything. But I said, no, I'm going to do this. Third day, I was completely, thankfully, completely normal. And then I finished the 10 days of Vipassana, and I came out successfully. And it was just simply mind blowing. What did Vipassana teach me? I came home, everything looked so beautiful and precious. I tasted my first cup of coffee after 10 days, and it was the most delicious thing I drank. I looked at my garden, my flowers and my vegetables and plants had grown so beautifully. So, what happened? Those 10 days of being mindful made me understand the beauty around me, which I just took it for granted. I was just like, chetluntai, the plants grow. What is so great about it? And okay, the birds come every day. I'm very lucky. I put bird feed and the birds come. Yeah, coffee. I go to the shop and my husband will fix the coffee. What's so big about it? But Vipassana told me it is big. It's just that I did not value it so much before. But after being mindful means I'm paying attention to that cup of coffee, how brown it looks, how thick it is, how delicious it is, what is the flavor. I'm paying attention to all that, being mindful of everything I do. This is Vipassana, this is mindfulness. Okay, so again, 30 minutes per day. Try to do this. Just sit. I will give you the techniques. I'm just telling you how it applies to real life. Now I'll give you one more technique. Okay? Before we go too deep into research, so Vipassana originated there, and then abroad, people took it and called it mindfulness based cognitive therapy, MBCT. And there's a lot of research on how it helps children with emotional disorders, it helps prisoners, it helps people, it helps reduce stress, it helps alleviate anxiety. There's a lot of scientific research now being conducted on the effect of Vipassana or mindfulness based cognitive therapy. So the cognitive therapy in psychology is now adapting techniques from Vipassana and calling it mindfulness based therapy. Very similar, except that you have to be trained in doing that. Okay, now I have a question for you. Have you ever done nothing sometimes? And I want you to explain what it means in one sentence. What is doing nothing means to you?
Doing nothing means to me, stopping thoughts. I will simply sit at a place, and if I'm encountered with any thoughts, I will question the thought where it is stemming from.
Okay.
So I get rid of my thoughts one by one, and I try to sit without any thought. So
Okay.
absolute silence, I try to get there. I try.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So somebody says mindful doing nothing means to be with yourself. And one person says somebody says nothing means being conscious but not affected by thoughts, staying calm and cool. Understand? Any other example? Thank you for sharing. Okay. According to me, doing nothing means not even paying attention to my thoughts. I will just sit, yes, sitting quietly and observing. Very correct, Pooja. So just sit. Don't do anything. Just sit. Don't look at your computer. Don't look at your phone. Don't listen to music. Don't talk. Don't pay attention to anything. Just sit and stare outside your window. That is one technique. So first technique I told you is the Brahmari Pranayama. Second technique I'm telling you is doing nothing. Doing nothing. Second technique is sit relaxed. Now, it's okay if your spine is not straight, but ideally, always your spine must be as straight as possible. Okay? There's a lot of research to show that there is a community, tribal community somewhere in Africa. They are the healthiest. They have the healthiest spinal cord because out of 24 hours, 20 hours they're standing. Even they sleep standing. They are the healthiest. I will send you the research link to Dr. Krishna and he can share it. They are the healthiest people. So try to sit straight and then look outside the window. If you are fortunate to have some green space like grass or trees or plants, look at them. That's all. That's all I'm asking. And I'm not saying control your thoughts. Please, that's a mistake. Don't try to control your thoughts. We are all human beings. Our brain is constantly working. If it stops working, that means your thoughts stop means the brain is not working. So every moment we are awake, even during sleep, thoughts are occurring. And so do not try to stop your thoughts. We are not there yet. Many of us are beginners. I am not able to stop my thoughts, and I am not going to have a battle with my thoughts trying to stop them. So mindfulness will teach you what you can do instead. Okay, that's the next technique that I'm going to teach you. Okay, now the next technique is please sit straight and then close your eyes and then observe your breath coming in and out of your nose. All you have to do is pay attention to your breath. Do not worry whether the breath is fast, whether breath is slow, or whether your one nostril is blocked, or if you have a cold, you're not able to breathe properly through your nose. Don't worry about it. It's okay. This is what it is, and it will pass. Your job is just to sit and observe how your breath is coming out of your nostrils and going in through your nostrils into your chest. Just observe and then try to close your mouth and breathe unless you have some breathing issue that prevents you from breathing through the nose. If your nose is blocked, if you have a cold, or in individuals with cerebral palsy whose jaw muscles may be a little more, slack, they may not be able to close their mouth. So Don't force them to close their mouth if it is not possible for them naturally. So I'm telling how this technique works for everybody, for people without cerebral palsy, people with cerebral palsy, people without upper respiratory infections, people with a blocked nose, whoever it is. Okay, how this technique works is just sit and then observe your breath coming in and out of your nose. Now, it's important that you're non-judgmental. Somebody asked me a good question last time. What is being non-judgmental? That means when you close your eyes, mind is like a monkey. 100 thoughts will occur to us. So don't punish yourself by saying, I am a horrible person. I'm not able to control my mind. My thoughts are running and I'm not able to stop them. Please, that is judging yourself. So be non-judgmental. Don't punish yourself. Don't scold yourself. Don't reprimand yourself. Just sit. Let's do that for a few seconds. Let's close our eyes, spine straight, sit or stand, or even lie down and observe your breath coming in and out of your nostril. It's called Anapana. Begin. You may slowly open your eyes and continue to, breathe normally. Okay, I would like one of you to share how you felt.
Ma'am, this is Shruti here.
Yeah.
So when I was doing this, I thought that I became more aware of my surroundings, like the sounds that were present in the surroundings.
Okay. Did that bother you?
No,
Okay.
I was just starting to notice more.
Yes, that's a very good
Yeah.
point you made, Shruti, because especially individuals with autism hear these different sounds that you and I, without autism, we don't pay attention to those sounds.
Yeah.
Shruti, can you give me an example of what sound?
So my mom was playing some music, like she was playing some video.
Okay.
And when the moment I closed my eyes, I could hear that
Great.
with
Great.
like more clearly.
Yeah.
More clearly.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what is happening? Very good point, Shruti. You are cutting off one sense. What sense are you cutting off?
Which like
Yeah.
I'm closing my eyes.
You're cutting off the visual
Yeah.
stimulus, right?
Yeah.
When you cut off the visual stimulus, the other senses become heightened, they start functioning at a heightened level. All right, that's what's happening. That's why very very important for individuals with visual impairment, when you're working with children with visual impairment, know that their sense of touch, their sense of hearing, unless they have a hearing impairment, their sense of hearing, smell and touch becomes magnified because their sense of vision is completely cut off. Okay, you're giving an example. And then second example you gave me is that you could hear your mom's playing some video. Now, children with autism are very, very selective in what sounds they pay attention to. So, you are in a class and you are teaching the most beautiful subject that they love, but unfortunately, they are paying attention to another sound that is coming. That is the sound of the air conditioner, the fan running, even the tube light makes a humming sound. Remember the fluorescent tube light? Or there's a bird chirping, or there is traffic sound like in India. So all these sounds get magnified for that child with autism, and he is not paying attention to your beautiful, wonderful lesson that you planned with all the lovely materials and hands-on experience. Gone. So let's understand what this specific selective hearing and paying attention can mean to us who are practicing mindfulness and to individuals with blindness, visual impairment, and then individuals with autism spectrum disorder. Thank you, Shruti. One more person, I want you to share what you felt. I focused on breathing, not so much on the thoughts or sounds. Okay, so that's good. I want you That's the good thing to do. If possible, just you focus on your breath, and thoughts, let them occur. It's natural. Let them occur. Just, oh, thought, you're here. All right, nice to meet you. Bye bye. Thought goes away. Second thought comes in. Hi. Okay. Bye bye. So when you keep doing this, automatically, I need to focus on my nose. Thought, thank you for being there. Focus on your nose. Do this self talk, and it's okay. In the beginning, you have to engage in the self talk to discipline yourself to focus on what I told you, and that is your breath. Very good. So, 3 techniques. All right. Anapana was the most recent one I told you. Now, how do you practice Anapana is important. Okay. Wherever you are, maybe you're in your office, maybe you're in the classroom with children, maybe you're at home, even in the bathroom, or you're in the shed, or you're in the garden, or you're in the balcony, wherever you are. Okay. Try to have a nice clean surface to sit down. Okay. If possible, put a nice clean rug there, sit down or lie down, depending on where you are, and with your spine straight. Again, if possible, if you don't have cerebral palsy, try to sit or stand or lie down in a comfortable position with your spine straight, and then do the Anapana. Try not to sit on the sofa, it kind of sinks and then it's so bad for your spine. Try to sit on a hard surface. That is ideal. That's good for your spine. We're all used to sitting on the sofa and then clicking the remote and watching TV and then closing the eyes and say, the TV will go on, but I'm going to do Anapana. That's not going to work. Please remember, all other stimuli, visual stimuli and auditory, if possible, should be cut off. Yeah, you can't close your ears. I'm not recommending that. What I'm saying is, it's okay if you cannot control everybody. Don't try to do that. Control yourself. You can with practice. So have a clean, comfortable surface, a nice rug. Even in the classroom, you can have this comfortable, cozy corner where you put a nice rug, and then you can tell children to go one by one to that corner and just observe their breath. Just close their eyes. Don't play music. Remember, don't play any sound. Let the sounds in the natural environment continue. Don't stop anything. You can't have a soundproof room. You don't need a soundproof room to practice Anapana. Okay? What you're trying to do is, despite all the distractions of sounds, I am trying to focus on my breath. That is Anapana. So Anapana, you start with, say, 5 minutes. Okay, do 5 times and then increase. Every minute increment is always good. Once you start doing it for 10 minutes, remember the rate of increment can jump up to 30 to 1 hour. After I finished my Vipassana training, I practiced Vipassana for 1 hour in the morning before everybody got up. I normally get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. People think I'm crazy, but it works for me because if the world is silent, it is dark, it is very ideal for me to do Vipassana. I do that then, and sometimes I do it in the evening. All right, this is how you do the physical technique of Vipassana. Now, how does Vipassana translate to your life, to practice? It's not enough if you say, oh, I'm very good at meditation. I learned Anapana, I learned Vipassana. I'm going to sit and meditate for 1 hour and my anxiety and stress are going to reduce and I'm going to be expert at meditation. No, no, no. That's not how it works. Vipassana or mindfulness is also practiced in real life situation. Okay. So first I'll give you non-examples, how you're not practicing. You're not practicing, for example, you are drinking coffee or you're eating breakfast or lunch. TV is on, okay? You're watching some favorite Saas Bhi Bahu Thi, some, some serial or some, I don't know the serials, I forgot. So you're watching that. And then you're eating. So what are you paying attention to? Are you paying attention to your breath? Are you paying attention to how delicious or bad the food is? Or are you paying attention to Saas Bhi Bahu Thi or some of the serial that's coming on TV? What are you doing? You're doing multiple things, multitasking. That's not always good. So enjoy your food. Be blessed that you have such delicious food available every day. You take it for granted. Getting up in the morning, your coffee is ready, your tea is ready, your juice is ready, and then breakfast is there. Even if you prepare it, you have all the ingredients, you have the money to go and buy it, and then you don't enjoy it. You just, or like me, you're working on the computer, take a spoon and then mash everything, put all on sadam, rasam, curry, put everything, you mix everything, make one kalgachu, and then you're eating with your spoon and then you're jabbing away on the computer. That's mindlessness. Try to avoid that. I'm also trying hard. It's very hard, and it's not as if I'm expert at it. For me also, it's very difficult. So that is mindlessness. Another thing we do is we plug our ears with headphones, and the jack is attached to the computer. We're listening to something on the computer. Okay. Suddenly the phone rings, the landline, or the doorbell rings, or the milkman comes, or the dhobi comes. You get up. What happens? The computer may come crashing down, literally may fall and break because you forgot to remove the headphones from your ear and you forgot to remove the jack from the computer. That is an example of mindlessness. Another example I gave last time is you're making sambar or you're making some soup. And then instead of putting the soup powder or the masala powder, you put coffee powder. Because you keep everything on the shelf, mindlessly you take some bottle, open it, have done it. So it's important to understand that is a bad example of mindfulness. So that is not mindfulness. So mindfulness means observing everything and appreciating. That is also mindfulness. How beautiful your dress is, how wonderful your colleagues are, how wonderful your room is, or the society is, or the garden is. Any environment that you are in, how clean it is. NIMH is one of the cleanest campuses that I ever worked in. Soak in, if you're working in NIMH, soak in that cleanliness, soak in that, appreciate that. And our director was very passionate about it. So appreciate that, take time to appreciate. Another example I'll give you of how to use mindfulness when dealing with people. Okay, because I cannot tell you the detailed techniques of Vipassana that only a trained guru can tell, what I'm going to say is how it can be applied in real life. Mindfulness. Mindfulness, please remember, it helps you control your reaction. It cannot help you control the other person. Please don't even try. What it helps you is how you react to situations, how you react to the other person. That is what is mindfulness helps you in doing that. So now the virus, how should we react? The virus is there. Yeah, it's there. Accept it. First thing is, please accept that the virus is spread all over the world. Let us not sit and blame all the other countries who may have caused it. Let us not blame people who have special animal non-vegetarian diet who caused it, or let us not engage in that. It's not in our control. It has come. Our job is to accept it. Once you accept it, then you can see, you can make a list. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. What are things in my control? 1, 2, 3, 4. What are things not in my control? Okay, strike off all the things not in my control. What is in my control? Control is my emotion. Can I control it? I will try. Can I control my breathing, my anger, my frustration? Yes, I will try. Can I control talking about it to 100 people and spreading false news or news that induces fear and anxiety? Yes, I can shut my mouth and I can just process my thoughts. Can I not talk about it first thing in the morning? I get up, I read the newspaper, how many people died and how many people were hospitalized, how many people went to the emergency, how many doctors committed suicide because of the virus. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to spoil my morning. First thing in the morning, I will do Vipassana, I will do Anapana, I'll enjoy my coffee, and then I'll read the news because I want to know what's happening in the world. But that's not the first thing I will do, and that's not what I will discuss every time I meet my husband or my spouse or my child or my relatives or I call my friend. Oh, you know what happened in China? 300 people died. Oh, you know what happened in some Palli? Some 50 people died. Stop that. That is not being mindful. Mindfulness is accepting the virus has affected us, and we have things that we can do. What can you do? Anybody? What should you do when you have the virus? What are you doing in India?
Being at home, being a responsible citizen, trying to, take all the precautions which have been given by the authorities, instead of grumbling that what is happening, why is this happening.
And it is human nature to do that. So don't blame yourself. I've grumbled, I have cried, I've been anxious. It's human nature. What I can do is not let it overtake me, not let it consume me. I am going to make sure I'm in control and my thoughts are not controlling me. That's what mindfulness will help you. Good, excellent. Shilpa, is Shilpa answered now? Yeah. Good. So Tanushree says accepting and being safe is the best thing you can do. Yes, take precautions. So whatever the doctors recommend, take those precautions. Wear a mask when you're in with other people. Wear a mask. Not with family members who live with you every day, but with somebody who comes to your house who's not been with you. Then wear a mask. Why is it important not to meet friends in large groups? Is because you don't know where your friends have been. Your friends might have visited places where there were a lot of people with, and they may have the symptoms without showing them obviously. They may be silent carriers. So important when you meet with friends, take all the precautions, maintain that distance, whatever distance is recommended, 3 to 6 feet apart, wear the mask, and minimize your social interaction. It's okay. It's not going to be forever. This too shall pass. So that's how you implement mindfulness, by being aware, by accepting the situation, and then by acting on the techniques that I just taught you. That's about it for the beginner mindfulness lecture. So we can conclude here, and I'll be glad to take questions.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I think now it's open for question and answers. So, my dear colleagues and students, if you want to ask anything, you can unmute your microphone and ask directly, or you can also type your question in the chat box.
Shilpa, would you mind reading the question out to me?
Yeah, I will. If there is a question, I would read the question for you.
Thank you.
Dr. Rama, I think everything is pretty clear to everyone.
Okay. All right. Okay.
No, we'll just wait for some time.
Yeah.
Maybe let them ask the questions.
Yes, absolutely. Everybody is practicing Anapana probably.
There's a question, and what is? I'll read out the question for you.
Yeah.
Ma'am, when you say Vipassana, is it a set of techniques?
Okay, Vipassana is a method. It's a method of meditation. It's a method of mindfulness. Nothing but mindfulness in Pali language. Vipassana means to witness. Literally means to witness. So you're witnessing your thoughts, your idea, your surroundings. You're witnessing how your body is reacting to different sensory stimuli when you close your eyes. And then in practice, you're witnessing how you're reacting to situations and people. Good question. Next question.
Is it related to reflective thinking in some way?
So, okay, reflective thinking, the difference is, that's a good question. Reflective thinking is you did something. For example, I practice reflective teaching. So I teach something. I teach for 10 minutes and then I sit down and I give the students an activity. And then when I sit down, I'm asking myself, okay, what did I do? What can I do to improve? What went well? What didn't go well? What were some examples that I could have done better? So I have a small diary, journal, and I quickly write down 10 minutes. Students are doing some activity. They are not just sitting idly. We are not wasting everybody's time. You know, they all pay their fees to come, and I'm paid money to teach. So my job is to teach. I'm not neglecting my duty. Actually, I'm making best use of improving my teaching. So that is reflective thinking. Is you did an action, you did something, you talked something, and some event happened. You sit and think over the matter. That is not Vipassana. Good question. Next one.
Ma'am, can you listen to me, ma'am?
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Satya. I'm a rehabilitation psychologist and therapist working with NIMH. My question is, how can we use this method with autistic children?
Yeah.
And how many sessions we can carry out, and what is the time duration during sessions?
Okay.
And how do you practice at your place?
With what?
When you practice the same thing with your autistic patients,
Yeah.
how you do it?
Okay. When you are teaching this technique to the individual or child or person with autism, yes, definitely you can have that comfy, cozy rug I told you, remember? It's very important. They react to sensory stimuli very differently. So it's important that if they are in a classroom or if they're in your clinic, you tell the parents to send a favorite fabric. It could be a blanket, it could be a bed sheet, it could be a shirt or a frock or a dupatta, whatever the child is used to. Or a comforting toy that the child is used to. Let the child bring that to your clinic and you find a nice corner where the child can sit. Don't put any stimuli on the wall. The wall should be blank. Okay, no sensory stimuli. And try to not to have too many sounds entering into your room or the clinic or the classroom. Okay, you can't of course block those sounds, but try to close the door and have a safe space. If you want, the parent can be sitting in another corner, and then just tell the child to close eyes for a few seconds and breathe. That's all. That's one technique anybody can do. Breathing is natural. We breathe as long as we are alive. Breathe. You don't have to go into any technical definitions of mindfulness. Just tell the child, sit with my child and breathe. Sit here, my child, close your eyes. Sit here, my child, and then the Brahmari Pranayama is easy. Maybe you can give physical prompting if they are not at that level. Depending on that level, give different levels of prompting and then do the Brahmari. That's all you have to do. There's a lot of research now coming up, but if there is research on individuals with autism and mindfulness, I will look for it. Right now, I'm not aware of it. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Nice idea. Nice idea.
Yeah, we have one more question over here. I'll read out the question just a minute. Yeah, this is almost similar to the previous question. How do we take it up with children with ADHD?
Okay, yeah. So children with ADHD, as we understand, have a lot of energy in them. That again, they're trying to control through various means. See how much we professionals want to impose our will on another human being. Of course, we want them to become normal. That may be one aim. We want them to become useful citizens. That may be another aim. We want them to have an educational degree. That may be other name. Everything is imposed by us. It is one human being's will, the will of the person who has power over the will of the person who doesn't have power. So try to understand yourself first. What do you want to happen to that child with ADHD? Now, next question you must ask is ask the child. What do you want, my child? What can I do for you? What is happening? Why are you agitated? You respect the child's right to speak and ask. Half the cure is in talking to the child. Half the cure is going to the doctor. Remember, when you are ill, you go to the doctor. Half your disease is already cured because you know that you are in capable hands. So, like that, half of the effectiveness isn't just sitting and talking to the child. Once you sit and talk to the child, you're already getting his attention. He knows you're valuing him, he knows you care. And then you can say, okay, let's do something fun. We're going to just close our eyes and breathe. Just breathe in and out. Now, there is research coming up that Vipassana and mindfulness is having a great beneficial effect on children with ADHD. Yes. and children with emotional disorders. So it's important that you get their attention, sit, and
Yeah, I'm able to hear.
okay.
Then there is one more question
Okay.
from the participant. People ask for solution for their problems, which works too quick in life, like problems for their depression, grief, or separation anxiety. So, can we consider Vipassana as a quick solution for their demand?
So there is no quick pill. Vipassana is not a quick pill. We must understand that. Okay. Even after 1 year of practicing, I mean, it took Buddha how many years to get enlightenment, and how much of deprivation, how much of practice, how much of discipline, how much of sadhana. But there is hope. It's not as if you have to do it for years and years and years. Yes, if you want to attain nirvana, yes, absolutely. Do it for years and years and years. Do it for even janams. But if you want to have some immediate benefits, remember I told you 30 minutes per day, 6 days a week. Okay, that is important. Once you start doing that, you will see the benefit is acceptance of that grief causing situation. Somebody died, is it in my control? Somebody is born, is it in my control? Who is controlling it? Have you seen the person who is controlling it? Is that a person? Is that a light? What is it? Is it God? Is it something else? We don't know. So rather than pondering over something you can't control, somebody died, yes, it's causing me you know endless amount of grief. I love that person. That person is my mother, father, brother, sister, friend, child, daughter, granddaughter. Yes, I understand grief is normal. You have to accept it's okay to grieve. If you want to cry, if you want to beat your chest and cry your heart out, do it. Don't control. Don't control your emotions. That's not Vipassana. What Vipassana is, once you cried your heart out, you can sit and understand, okay, this is not in my control. I didn't kill that person. The person died of disease, of old age, of accident, unexpected events in life, due to injustice, due to being murdered. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, the person died. Yes, I am grieving. Understand? I am grieving, I'm crying, I'm agitated, I'm unhappy. Dukh ho raha hai bahut. Naku chala dukkanga undi. Accept it. That is Vipassana. And then sit and then do your breathing. It's okay if you're crying while you're breathing. Yeah. Same with stressful situations, same with anxiety. When your clients come to you with these questions, tell them, please accept that death happened. Please accept tragedy happened. Please accept that it cannot be controlled by you. And don't expect them to just, yes, sir, and do namaste, yes, Swamiji, and then listen to you and practice. No. Even their acceptance and you convincing them is going to take time. I can't tell you how much time, it's individual differences.
There is one more question. Ma'am, in your clinical experience, what kind of improvements have you observed through mindfulness and the other techniques, especially in children?
Okay. So, clinical experience, I'm not a clinician. So, I'm an educator. So, what I do is, right now, when I was working in NIMH, I had learned something called a Reiki technique. I don't know if you know it. Some of you may know it. So, I went to a Reiki class and I took the basic level of Reiki. And there was this one child, and I will come to Vipassana, I'll come to mindfulness. So there was one child who could not write. He was a handsome child, he was wonderful. I think he had mild intellectual disability. His writing was very bad. He was cognitively processing information quite well, but he couldn't write. So after I finished the Reiki class, then I was really energized and charged. I said, okay, I'm going to try Reiki on my children, on my students with moderate and mild intellectual disability, because it's a harmless, non-invasive technique. Remember, I'm not doing any invasive. That means I'm not giving medicine. I'm not qualified. I'm not doing any surgery. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving any kashayam or potion or magic potion. Nothing. I'm just going to be with the child and pass some positive energy to the child's hand and see if it works. So the child and I would sit, he would come to my desk and we would write, and then, he would make a lot of mistakes. And then this is purely anecdotal, remember, this is not scientific research. It was very anecdotal. I said, okay, in Reiki, what you do is you pray that the ancient masters' energy is transferred to you, and then you transfer the energy to the child. So I just prayed for the child to have good energy to be able to write. As simple as that. And mother actually after 1 month she reported, "You ma babu rastunadandi," and she was literally in tears. Now I don't have scientific evidence to say causation, but there was a correlation. Okay, I haven't studied the other variables that came to play in improving the writing in this child. Maybe motor development got better. Maybe attention helped. Maybe there was an unknown factor that helped. Ultimately, had helped. Now, coming back to Vipassana. So, I don't do Vipassana or mindfulness with children because I don't work with children directly. I work with teachers. I work with B.Ed, M.Ed, like you said, B.Ed, M.Ed, like we have undergrad, grad, master students who are all going to be teachers. I practice the techniques that I taught you today when I begin a class in the face-to-face class. Now it's online. I'm just missing on my students. But in online also, I can guide them virtually. So I tell them, one technique I tell them is the Brahmari. And then put on your mindfulness glasses. Just pretend and write down 10 words that come to your mind when you think about autism. So what happens? They start thinking about grades. They stop thinking about their family, boyfriend, girlfriend. Stop thinking about when they are going to eat next or party next. They are thinking about my subject, autism. They are being mindful. That's how I practice.
No, there are just few comments that it is immensely useful, and I think it's a way of living, not passions in particular.
Yeah, it's a way of living. Please understand, that's an excellent comment. Vipassana or mindfulness should be ideally a way of living, not just taking 1 hour or 10 minutes and sitting and meditating. It won't have the same effect if you don't apply it. Okay? All right. I think we will conclude here. And
before we conclude, I would like to ask one question.
Please.
What we're talking about mindfulness, definitely higher cognitive function. But the nature of mind, it only reacts. It reacts to people, it reacts to situations. So using mindfulness, how can we live fully? You can answer. Did you get my question?
Yes. So how you can live fully is when you start appreciating what you have and you stop craving. Mindfulness also tells you stop craving for things. Okay? One is stop craving for things. That is, so you are earning say 1 lakh rupees per year. You want 2 lakh rupees. Or you're earning 10,000 rupees or $10,000 per year. You want $20,000. You have a nice sofa, black color. You don't like the color. You want blue sofa. It has to match the curtains. Or you want TV. You're not satisfied with small TV. You want home screen, home theater. So craving, constant craving for things. Avoid that. Instead, being mindful of what you have. Oh my goodness, I have a lovely TV. All I have to do is wipe the dust on it and it'll look better. Oh, I have a nice house. I'm so blessed. All I have to do is keep it clean. Or I don't have a house, but luckily I have a roof above my head. All I have to do is appreciate this is what I was given in this life. If I can control something about it, I will do it. If things are not in my control, I will not waste time ruining about it. So controlling is, can I work hard to increase my income from 10,000 rupees to 20? Possible, definitely possible. I'm going to do 2 jobs, then I can earn more money. Okay, can I get a 100-inch TV? Yeah, but it's going to show the same movie, the same stupid serial. What difference does it make whether you're watching it on a small screen or a giant screen? So try to prioritize your wants. What do you want? You want happiness? You can't run and get happiness. You have to be learning to be happy with what you have. Do you have a cushion to sit on? Be happy. Do you have an able body? Happy. You have a handicap?
So,
it's okay. Accepting what you have and appreciating what you have.
So you're talking about acceptance, you're talking about practicing gratitude.
Yes, very good, very good. That's a good point. People also have a jar, a glass jar తీసుకొని they night when everybody is going to sleep, they write down 10 things that they are grateful for and they put it in the jar. There is a lot of research to show that gratitude exercise has a lot of beneficial effects on your blood pressure, on your breathing, on your health, on your sense of well-being, everything. Yes, absolutely, Krishna garu. Do the gratitude. Yeah, it's all connected. Very
Yeah, I think Shilpa will. Yeah, thank you. Shilpa will read the last question.
This is the last question, madam. That is, what happens to individuals with developmental delays when their family and care providers practice mindfulness?
What happens to the children when caregivers practice mindfulness?
Yes, mindfulness.
Very good question. So, I was working in the class for children with moderate intellectual disability. The parents and the children and other teachers would say how calm I am. You're always calm. That's why your children also are calm. And then the other teachers or paraeducators or the research teaching assistants from other classes where there were children who were very agitated, children with emotional disorders, children with ADHD, they would come to my class for a break because my class was always calm. And why was it calm? Because I was calm. So however your demeanor is, your body language, your breathing, everything affects your child. Remember that subconsciously, your body manner, your demeanor, it's called, your body language, your breathing, and your tone of voice, everything is having an effect on the child. If you are agitated, if you're not being mindful, you're transferring that anxiety, fear, stress to your child. If you practice Vipassana, if you practice mindfulness, it has an automatic calming effect on your child. And it takes time. It's not going to be overnight. Do not think that it's an overnight pill or something that's going to. And don't worry about RAI practice for 30 minutes for 6 weeks. I didn't see any effect. Not in your control. Please avoid that. Your control is in practicing. In India, I know that any patya you do, any fasting, any diet, or any vrata, you do it for 40 days. Why 40 days? So I was thinking, it is at least that much, at least 30 days, at least 40 days of doing it every day to make it automatic.
Yeah. I think Dr. Shilpa, I think we'll close it. And thank you very much, Dr. Rama, for teaching us mindfulness practices, demonstrating mindfulness.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And thank you all the participants who sat patiently, and Dr. Shilpa for coming in, and
Yeah, she was a moderator for questions. That was very good.
yeah. Okay, thank you all the students, all the participants. Okay, have a good night, and Dr. Rama, have a good day. Bye bye. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, namaste. Bye bye.